Hello and welcome. This is Tea and Tights, the Great British Wrestling podcast for Great British Wrestling. I am the host, the Great British Wrestling Taku, Mr. Andrew Moore, Andy to most. And I'm recording this a little bit later than I normally would. Struggling physically the last few days, which is why I look like absolute crap right now. But I really wanted to get this episode out because, there's so much great things happening right now. It is the AEW weekend. It is upon us right now. AEW Dynamite in Cardiff is taking place as I'm recording. This is much later than I would normally record. Normally record at least a day and a half ago or so. But I am here, and of course, Zack Sabre Jr. did it. He brought it home. The G1. Seriously, amazing. Zack Sabre Jr. did bring home the G1. He won it after defeating Yoda Tsuji 30 minutes in the G1 final. Excellent match. Fantastic display from Zack Sabre Jr. So I thought, rather than doing, my usual reviews, I thought I'd review Zack, Callum, and Gabe Kids G1. So let's just get into that. So as I say, Neman actually started it against Shota Umino. A little clumsy at times, but I felt this was more down to Umino ring rust than say Callum. Callum did pick up the win here, big win. I thought it was great first showing for the young performer, and excellent to see him pick up a win in his first G1 match. Zack Sabre Jr. took on Great O'Khan. There was some great takedown exchanges, some good striking, some excellent grappling. It was good, but it was not great. Gabe took on Evil. This was a Bullet Club war. It was an absolute battle. I didn't mind the match. I thought it was pretty good. In the second round of matches, Neman took on Sonada. Really enjoyed this match, especially the closing 3 minutes or so. It got very fast paced, excellent showing. Better than his match with Shota. He didn't pick up the win, but great performance from Callum in this match. Gabe took on O'Khan. This was an absolute war from Kid and Khan. They spent probably as much of the time outside the ring as they actually did. And again, the actual closing sequence of this match was incredible. Kid was Khan. I thought Kid was Khan was better than Zack Sabre Jr. than Khan, but Khan did pick up the win here. Zack Sabre Jr. Took on Naito on his second days of action. This was slow but good. Big win for Zack. Naito's he's really struggling at the moment. I really is. In the third round of action for the lads, it was Zack Sabre Jr. taking on Callum Neman. Callum went toe-to-toe, one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. Thoroughly enjoyed this matchup. Honestly, I thought it was Zack Sabre Jr.'s best match so far, so fair play to Neman to get that. In the first three, I'm not saying it was Zack Sabre's best match just so far in the tournament as we go in. Gabe took on Shota. Gabe put the fire out of Shota that was missing his match with Neman. Hard fought war. Actually managed to stay in the ring, and I believe Shota picked up the win here. It was fourth round days of action. It was Neman versus Tagaki. Got to see Callum Neman take an absolutely beat him, but he still came back. Huge win, solid performance, excellent. Gabe versus Sonada was good, but not great. Slow in places, picked up towards the end. Zack Sabre Jr. took on Jake Lee on the fourth day of action. Zack Sabre Jr. took a pounding in this match, finding it difficult to deal with the size and strength, in particular the long limbs of Lee. But managed to quickly catch Lee's arms and force him to submit right at the end. Brilliant, excellent match. Neman took on Evil. Not much of a match here, not a fun match for Callum Neman. It was basically a handicap match. Neman still got a couple of cool spots, showing his agility and athleticism, but it was not particularly great. But that wasn't Callum's fault, not at all. Zack Sabre Jr. took on Shota Umino. And despite picking up a loss here, this was actually my favorite Zack Sabre Jr. match so far. Definitely was able to get the best match out of the three guys to do it. Gabe and Shingo. A huge win for Gabe. And as Jeff Cobb said, what a fight. We thought Gabe was paying respect to Shingo at the end, but nah, kicked him in the nuts post-match. Brilliant from Gabe. Callum Neman got to take on Jake Lee on what we we're on the 5th or the 6th day now. I don't know. I've lost count. Newman took on Jake Lee. This was a good match, an excellent performance with Newman, able to drag a good match out of Jake Lee. Gabe versus Naito. This was an excellent performance from Kid. Very unlucky not to get the win. He dominated Naito throughout, but great performance from Gabe Kid in this. Zack Sabre Jr. took on Shingo Takagi. Another excellent match. Amazing fourth finish into a great finish. Zack Sabre Jr. was just unlucky not to get a win here, but just so good. I think we're on day 7 or round 7 of the single matches. Callum Newman took on Great O'Khan. The opening sequence to this match was spectacular. I think it was probably Callum Newman's best performance, and he had the best match with Great O'Khan out of the 3 guys. Out of Sabre and Gabe Kidd, I thought he had the best O'Khan match. Gabe versus Jake Lee. This was just another, Gabe has gone to war in pretty much every match, and this was absolutely probably the biggest, baddest, toughest battle so far. Down these guys just battled all over the arena, and Gabe lost the count out. Zack Sabre Jr. took on Evil. Evil tried to jump him from the off, hit a double team magic yellow, tried to get a pin, but Zack just kept getting out, and then he just caught Evil with a pin. 90 seconds on the clock. Evil tried to get Zack Sabre Jr. after the match, but Zack escaped. Good for him. Callum Newman versus Naito. Callum was hot out the gate with an awesome sequence. Honestly, my favorite Naito match out of the 3 matches. Again, Newman had, for me, the better Naito match and the better match with Khan. Honestly, this was just really good. He really put up a fight, and there were some missteps. But really, Newman has just not looked out of place so far. Gabe took on Zack Sabre Jr. This shit is arse. Really, really is. This was both their best matches, in my opinion. Gabe versus Zack Sabre Jr. Day 8, massive. Round 9, Gabe versus Newman. Short but sweet. Got to see a few things from Callum. Gabe picks up 1 more victory. He finished on 8 points total. Newman finished on 4 points total. We then had Zack Sabre Jr. versus Sonada. If you like grappling art, this is the wrestling match that you will absolutely love. If you love the grappling art that is wrestling, you will love this match. If you like high pace, adrenaline pumping, hit high flipping, may not like this match as much, but then what do you know? I'm joking. This was just beautiful. I loved this. Puro the Wrestle Bear, he's here. I forgot to mention, he absolutely loved this. Zack finishes with 14 points to go to the semi-finals, his highest total so far. 2 losses throughout the entire tournament, league phase, group phase. Absolutely fantastic. Let's talk about Callum Newman. Finished with 2 wins on the board, 4 points in total. Look, I didn't expect Callum to pick up that many wins. I was hoping he would get 3, but getting 2 in your first outing as 21, 22-year-old, he's the youngest competitor, joint youngest competitor to ever compete in the G1. He did not look out of place whatsoever. I think he took some unfair flack online with people just calling him a clone of Will Ospreay because they saw a clip of him hitting the Oscar. That's your takeaway. If you think Callum Newman is a clone of Will Ospreay, you know nothing, because he wrestles nothing like Will Ospreay. Yes, he hits the Oscar and he hits a triangle moonsault that Will also used to hit a triangle moonsault, but loads of people hit the triangle moonsault, loads of people hit the cutter. The Oz cutter. Nick Wayne hits the Oz cutter. Jordan Oliver, he's going to want to use as a version of the Oscar. You know, he's not the only person out there. I think it doesn't help that Callum Neman is already, despite his age, you know, about the same height of Will Ospreay is right now, and not that far off the you know, physical mass of Will Ospreay. Callum's a big young lad, and so I think maybe he's getting cool because of that, and of course the gear does look very similar. You know, Chris Charlton talked about him should be trying to drop the Oz cutter. Yeah, probably, but he's not a clone of Will Ospreay. He doesn't wrestle like Will Ospreay whatsoever. He could probably do with a revamp, maybe. I once joked that maybe he could take over the Black Tiger gimmick, and maybe if we give him a break from NJPW and bring him back as Black Tiger, he can escape some of that comparison to Will Ospreay. But personally, it was amazing. Some of the stuff, he brought something different to every match. Every time he competed, we got to see something new, more athleticism, more pace, more speed. And you know, I do have a soft spot for him. I always said I've always thought he's going to be an absolute star, and I still believe he's going to be one of the best wrestlers in the world, because when they let him go and he's able to do everything that we saw from him in just one match, you know, 1 20-minute, 30-minute match with somebody, he's able to do all of the different moves that we saw throughout the tournament in one match. You know, it's going to be a 5-star classic, and I'm here for it. Gabe is lighting up NJPW, really, isn't he? He's absolutely just smashing it. 8 points, you know, second G1. 8 points is absolutely a respectable score for your second G1. Again, big things. He's the NJPW strong openweight champion right now. Phenomenal talent. He's gonna one day be the champion at some point. Maybe he'll win a G1. Something we'll see in the future. Zack, of course, had 2 more matches, and one of them was against Shingo Takagi, and of course Shingo Takagi already beat Zack Sabre Jr. This was another great match. Zack Sabre Jr. was on the back foot again. It looked as if Shingo was going to get the win, and it wasn't going to be Zack Sabre Jr.'s time, but he showed that heart. He kept kicking out. He kept getting back up, and eventually he got the win. Fantastic performance. And then, of course, it was the final. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Yota Tsuji, the first of the new gen guys to make it to a G1 final ahead of like the Gabe kids, Yuya Uemura, Shota Umino, Great O'Khan. You know, Yota Tsuji is absolutely going to be a beast at some point, but it was right to crown Zack Sabre Jr. It was absolutely the right thing to do. It was his time. With Will leaving, with Kenny gone ages ago, with the loss of Jay White and the loss of O'Connor, they really need to push new people to the top of the card. Naito doesn't seem to be that guy anymore. I don't think he can physically be at the top of the New Japan roster. I think the Sonata, I love Sonata. I think he's great. But is he big enough? Is he a big enough personality to be at the top of New Japan? Evil, great character, backed up by the House of Torture, but you know, a lot of people rejected him on top the same way they did with Sonata. It's Zack's time. It really, really is. I absolutely do think so. So I'm gonna give Callum Newman 3, no, yeah, 4 sugars. Callum Newman, I was so impressed with him. 22 years old, stepping into the G1 like he did, putting in the performances that he put in. That was absolutely fantastic. What do you think, Bureau Bear? You're not quite on the same level as me? You only want to give him 3.5? You're blame him, not me. I give him 4. Bureau Wrestle Bear gives him 3.5. Gabe Kid. I'm going to be generous again. I think I'm giving him 4 sugars. He is just looking like the man in New Japan right now. Puro, what did you think of Gabe's performances? You love the hard-hitting style of Gabe Kidd. He's a madman. Yes, it's true. He is a madman. You don't want to make him mad, so you're giving him 4. That's probably a good idea. Zack Sabre Jr. How can I not give him 5 sugars? He won the G1. He put in some great matches. Not every match was, I don't even think any match was a 5 sugar match. But overall, going from what he did, performing the way he did at such a consistent level, I'm going to have to give him 5 sugars. Puro, he thinks I'm being far too generous today. And you're going to give him 4. 4 sugars. It's a good score because it was a fantastic performance throughout. And loving it. After winning it this year, Zack has already called for his shot at Tetsu United's IWGP Heavyweight Champion. It's going to be at NJPW's King of Pro Wrestling 2024, which is on the 14th of October, in hopes that he'll get a chance to defend that championship when New Japan Pro Wrestling return to the UK for Royal Quest 4 on Sunday, the 20th of October, the day after Rev Pro UK's Global Wars. The G1 winner will be in action when New Japan go back to America for New Japan Strong's Capital Collision in the capital, Washington, on the 30th of August. He is set to face off against CMLL's a member of the LIJ squad, Titan. Should be a great match, a first-time matchup against Titan. The Grizzled Young Vets will finally be making their New Japan debuts at this show. Hopefully it'll be the start of something. We'll get to see the GYV in this year's new World Tag League. They absolutely deserve to be there. One of the best tag teams in the world. They are, for now, set to compete in a 3-way tag match to crown #1 contenders of the New Japan Strong Championships. This will be against the team TDMK, the Mighty Don't Kneel, Bad Dude Dido, and Robbie Eagles, as well as Tanahashi and Ishii. Gabe Kidd is also set to defend his New Japan Strong Championship against Leo Rush. There's going to be a huge size difference between Leo and Gabe Kidd in that match. I'm sure going to be a good match. As mentioned, I did mention it, NJPW, they are coming back to the UK, 20th of October. Zack has already been confirmed as appearing. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he will be defending that IWGP Heavyweight Championship here in the UK, because that would just be absolutely amazing. Top of the world for Zack. I think he needs to. I think Naito needs to be out of the picture. I don't know who Zack should face at Wrestle Kingdom. Maybe Yoda Tsuji again. Maybe Shingo Takagi. That could be a good one, actually. NJPW, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shingo Takagi. Can I see that headlining a Wrestle Kingdom? I think so. I think that will probably be the strongest main event for NJPW. Let me know who you think. If Zack Sabre Jr. does go on to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, who should he face at Wrestle Kingdom? I'd really like to know your answers. For me, I think Shingo Takagi is probably the best choice, followed by Yoda Tsuji, or possibly bringing in somebody from a different company to challenge. I don't know. As I mentioned, it is AEW All-In Weekend, and, we're talking about companies coming into the UK, so I can't talk about the AEW All-In Weekend. We can't talk about companies coming to the UK without talking about the AEW All-In Weekend. 25th of August, this Sunday, after we release this episode. So what's everybody feeling regarding the show lineup? What we got? We got Swerve versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Championship in the main event. MJF versus Will Ospreay for that US Championship or International Champion. Tony Storm will be facing Mariah May. You know, people calling it a Mariah May homecoming, but it is also a homecoming for Tony Storm. She was such an integral part to the UK Brit Wres scene when it was, you know, at its apex, its peak. Tony Storm was right there as part of that, as well as Mariah May. Mercedes Blaze, Mercedes Moné, talking about British wrestler stars, Mercedes Moné will be facing Britt Baker, Jack Perry versus Darby Allin in a coffin match, Chris Jericho versus Hook, and Casino Gauntlet Royal match, or whatever they have. Bucks FDR and the Acclaimed, Christian Crew versus Bullet Club versus House of Black versus a mystery team. Who do we reckon a mystery team could be? Could it be CPF? Oh, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Of course, it won't be CPF. Could it be a team led by a Michael Oku led team? Maybe that's how he gets onto AEW. Who knows? Okay, let me think. What about a Bullet Club team? Gabe Kidd, Dan Maloney. We know they're in the UK. We do know they are in the UK, so maybe. I mean, I'd say the Mighty Don't Kneel, get Zack Sabre Jr. in there, but it's a ladder match. What's Zack Sabre Jr.? Zack Sabre Jr. should not be competing in ladder matches. So I don't know. Who do you think will be the mystery team? Will it be a British team? Let me know your answers. Put it down on the comments below. There are plenty of British promotions running their shows throughout the weekend, including Thursday, tomorrow, the day this episode goes out, which by the time this episode goes out, just before the show kicks off, no doubt. It is Pro Wrestling Ceasefire. It is, and of course, in aid of Palestine because of the Israel war. Sunshine Machine versus the East City Butchers. Shah Samuels, Jordan Saeed. Gargi versus Jordan Breaks, Livy Grace versus Connor Mills, Levi Mule versus Malik versus Donny Rivaro, and more. It's sold out, but if you want to support, you can donate and you can buy merch. And of course, that will all go towards aid for the Palestinians and a promotion to hopefully promote a ceasefire in the area. On the 24th, on Friday, it is Riot Cabaret Wrestling. I've actually not talked about this show yet. I've talked a lot about Attack, North, and Eve, and Rev Pro and Progress, but I've not talked about Riot. So let's go through Riot's card quite quickly here. Millie McKenzie versus Nina Samuels versus Session with Martina. That is for the Riot Cabaret Women's Championship held by Nina Samuels. Should be an excellent triple threat match. Charles Crowley versus Spike Trevay. I know this match is supposed to have happened so many different times in so many different promotions. So great, we're finally going to get it. Charles Crowley versus Spike Trevay. Of course, Charles Crowley back from his tour in Japan very recently with Tajiri. Mark Andrews, Nico Angelo, and Michael Oku. I believe that is for the Riot Cabaret Men's Championship held by Michael Oku. The Riot Tag Team Championship will be on the line. That is James Ellis and Tate Mayfair's champions, the Excellence and the Brilliance. They're taking on the Greedy Souls, the Bryans, Joe Blazer, and Murdoch. We got Sunshine Machine versus Subculture of Danny Luna and Flash Morgan Webster. Amira versus Cassius with Simon Miller as a guest referee. And Grado is going to be in town. So it's going to be a super fun event, fun show. That is at the Clapham Grand, 24th of August. I don't know if tickets are sold out, but if you can go support it, go support it. I really recommend it. Saturday, the day before the show, there is so much going down. Let's talk about All Caps All Day. 3 shows in 1 day, hosted by Attack Pro Wrestling, North Wrestling, and Hustle Wrestling. I've discussed many of these, so I'm just going to anything new, which is the fact that Evil Uno will be at the Attack Pro show. He will be in action. Who knows? Maybe against Neil Cage. He's been announced and he's had no match announced yet. Should be a good match. North Wrestling, again, I've spoken about this on a few times. I know Rampage Brown is now out of the show and very recently added, in fact, today, I believe it was added, is a 8-man tag of Gene Money, Rory Coyle, Liam Slater, and who is that? And they're taking on Ace Matthews, the landed gentry of Benji, and Theo Knox, as well as the Red Scorpion, who's going to be back in town, Italian wrestler, fun wrestler. Go check him out. And the fourth member of the other team, is Gene Money, Liam Slater, Rory Coyle, and Will Cruz. I am very sorry I forgot you, Will Cruz. Please, please, please do not kill me, squash me. I very much like to live. This whole sort of like 3 shows in one day. It kicks off at 11 o'clock for TAC Pro from 11 till 12:30. North Wrestling from 1 o'clock till 2:30, and Hustle Wrestling kicking off at 3 o'clock. Not far down, that's all taking place at the Garage in London. I believe tickets are still available. So again, if you want to go support a couple of those shows, all 3 of those shows, absolutely do so. Pro Wrestling Eva taking on Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Some mixed matches involving both sets of talents. This is at the Conway Hall. This kicks off at 2 p.m. I went through the match card last week. Absolutely go check out that previous episode. Rev Pro UK 12th anniversary. We do know now who is going to be challenging Danny Luna for the Undisputed Women's Championship, and that is Amina Shirakawa, and that is going to be a banger. I wonder if she'll have anything to do with the Mariah May Tony Storm match the next day. She's in town, could possibly do. Who knows? And then, of course, Sunday it is the AEW All In show. But I know Hooked on Wrestling have a pre-show almost in. Let me just quickly bring that up, see if I can find it. Yeah, Wembley pre-party, 25th of August. It starts at 10 a.m. at the Box Park in Wembley, hosted by Hooked on Wrestling. I know there's going to be Progress wrestlers in and around, so definitely go check this out. There's going to be a lot of fun, whole fun day that they've got planned. Of course, Monday, Progress Wrestling versus, Wrestling Never Sleeps. So, going to be 2 great shows. Let's talk about Progress and Rev Pro UK. Who do you think put together the bigger, better show? Really like to know your thoughts on this. I think the Rev Pro UK has got a lot of young, up-and-coming talents on it. So does the Rev Pro UK card. You could definitely say that the Rev Pro UK is going to have the biggest stars on the show, with Zack Sabre Jr. being there, Ken Shicero being there, Mina Shirakawa, Dijak, Gabe Kid. You know, you have to say that the big names are on the Rev Pro UK side in this. Progress is pretty much sold out. I know their tickets available for Rev Pro, but Rev Pro are going to a 4,000 seater. Progress are going to be in their usual 800 odd people in the Electric Ballroom. I think they're both going to be great shows. I don't really think it matters who's got a better show. But let me know who you thought's got a better show in the comments below. I'd really like to know. Sticking with AEW related news, AEW are now the new sponsors for the Fulham women's football team. And sticking with football, did you know that WWE 2K video games are going to be sponsoring the Bournemouth Premier League team? Well, that's something. Back to AEW quickly. Amira, Michael Oku. There's a lot being said about whether they could be signing with AEW. Is it a good move? I mean, it's a great move for Michael Oku financially, obviously. I think he could do well in the mid-card titles, absolutely. I would worry that he'd get lost in the shuffle. There's so many great wrestlers in AEW. It's one of the most incredibly stacked rosters there are, and I wonder where he'd be in the pecking order. Obviously, it's still a great move for Michael Oku as a whole. Wouldn't be great for the British wrestling scene to lose again one of its biggest stars. Right now, probably the biggest star in British wrestling is Michael Oku, who is unsigned or not getting, full contract money. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to know what you think. Michael Oku and Amira. Amira's got to go with him if, she adds so much. She is probably the best valet in the business right now. She adds so much to the presentation of Michael Oku. You have to keep them together. Absolutely. So, any more companies coming to the UK? Well, maybe not a company, but Effy's Big Gay Brunch is coming back to the UK. And it's GCW related. September 28th, 29th of September. Actually, speaking of, TNT Extreme usually, at least on the last 2 years, have run TNT versus GCW shows in September. So obviously that's not happening this year, but we are getting Effy's Big Gay Brunch. I messed up the order last week about which shows are on which days. Gonna get it right this week, okay? Effy's Big Gay Brunch is back in Liverpool. It's hosted by TNT Extreme. It is on the weekend of the 28th and the 29th. On the 28th, you'll have TNT Ignite the Fire at 2 p.m. on the 28th. And then at 7 p.m. is the over 18 show, the Rainbow Rumble, and that is on the 28th of September. On the 29th of September, we have TNT Extreme's Nation of Collaboration. And that kicks off at 2 p.m. And then at 7 p.m. is Effy's Big Gay Brunch. And that is, as I say, 29th of September. We now know that Dark Sheik will be facing Shay Monet at the Rainbow Rumble. Also coming to the UK in September is Pro Wrestling Noah. In fact, they will be here before Effy Big Gay Brunch. But Noah will be coming to the UK shores for 3 shows as part of a tour supported by Progress Wrestling. This is on the 6th of September, the 7th of September, and the 8th of September in Edinburgh, in Manchester, and in Camden, London, respectively. I'm not going to go through all the matches on every card. I picked out a couple that I think are definitely worth highlighting. Edinburgh, Jack Morris, Saxon Huxley versus Kaito Kiyomiya and Masa Kitamiya. Jack Morris, of course, making his return to Edinburgh. That is where he grew up. That is where he trained to become a wrestler. That's where he competed for the likes of Discovery Pro Wrestling. I can't wait I wanted to hear the pop to this. I wanted to go to Edinburgh, but the hotel prices were ridiculous. So I went to Manchester. So I'm going to Manchester in a sec because the hotel prices were much better. But with that said, True and Lacey making technically their Pro Wrestling Noah debuts. They're taking on Yohei and Asuka. True and Lacey, I love these guys. The teams with attitude. Power Rangers. Lycos Gym versus the Los Galapagos, Alpha Wolf and Dragonbane. I'm sure that's going to be an insane matchup. And RKJ, Ricky Knight Jr. taking on Malibu Sawyer. I'm expecting that to be an absolute hard-hitting maniac match. Manchester on the 7th of September. That is where I will be. So come and say hello if you are there. Lycos Gym will be taking on Yohei and Jack Morrison. If you've seen the video released by Lycos Gym for Pro Wrestling Noah Progress about this tour, he does not like Yohei. I don't know why Kid Lycos does not like Yohei. I like Yohei. I think he's such a cool dude. So I'm not sure I'm going to be supporting you though. Okay, Lycos. I've got your hat up there somewhere, and Lycos, I've got your t-shirt. There we go. Your hat and t-shirt. There we go. I'll be there supporting you in that match against Yohei and Jack Morris. G Money versus Masa Kitayama. That is going to be just two big beefy men beating each other up. Luke Jacobs versus Taishi Oizawa. Big match for Taishi Oizawa. Kaito Kiyomiya and Keno versus RKJ and Axel Tiska. Keno, sorry. That is going to be an absolute banger for amazing wrestlers. Camden, London, 4 matches have pulled out here are RKG versus Kaito Kiyomiya. I mean, what a match for RKJ. What a chance to try and shine and stand out in such a high-profile match. Masa Kitamiya versus Luke Jacobs, just two big beefy men who are just going to batter each other. Hayata and Yohei versus the Lycos Gym. That's going to be an excellent tag match. And LJ Cleary versus Alaska. I'm sure that's going to be really, really good. Disappointed that there have been no women's matches booked on any of the 3 shows. And I know Pro Wrestling Now I mean, they do actually, they have been running women's matches on some of their shows. I know they don't technically have a women's division because Japanese promotions typically keep women's wrestling and men's wrestling on 2 different rosters. It's their way of doing things. It's just a shame that maybe Progress couldn't push to get a couple of women's matches on the cards. Maybe defend the Progress women's title. I'm sure Rio or Session with Martina, depending on who's champion at the time, would have been happy to do so. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed in that, but you know, we're gonna have to take things by they come. Talking about pro wrestling now, well, let's talk about Jack Morris, who is currently right now competing in this year's M1 victory. It's kind of like their version of G1. It is his 3rd time competing, and the Scottish superstar is having a great tournament so far. He started off with a loss to Masa Kitayama, picked up a win over Dragonbane, then picked up a win over NXT star Josh Briggs. He defeated the NJPW Young Lion, Rio. He was then defeated by the NJPW Young Lion, Ryohei Oiwa. He then picked up another win over Lewis Mante, a Dragon Gate wrestler. He scored another 2 points via forfeit as Kotage had to withdraw from the tournament, and so he got a couple of extra points. He has his final match in the A block against the current Noah and GHC Heavyweight Championship, Kaito Kiyomiya, on the 25th of August. It's funny, you go back 3 years ago when he first went to Pro Wrestling Noah to compete in his first M1 victory. His first match was against Kaito Kiyomiya. He picked up the win. He went on to just pick up a couple more wins. Last year, he had a great tournament, almost winning his group. Right now, there's I believe there's 4 people in the running who could qualify, including Kaito Kiyomiya, Jack Morris, Josh Briggs. I thought somebody else had 8 points. I can't remember. It's not Dragon Bane, but it's tight at the top. If he beats Kaito Kiyomiya, even if Josh Briggs wins his next match, he'd have the tiebreak win over Josh Briggs, so therefore he would progress to the tournament. We all got behind Zack Sabre Jr. Let's all get behind Jack Morris and will him on to victory, of course, in the Pro Wrestling Noah, and then hopefully when he returns in September, he will be the M1 victory winner. That'd be amazing. Let's talk about another Brit wrestler currently applying his trade in Japan. That is Shreddy. He's been on tour with Big Japan Pro Wrestling for the last few months, where Leighton Buzzard did his tour. He's only had a chance for a couple of competing. Actually, he's only competed in 1 singles match. He's had 17 matches out there in total. He has been finding some success within those tag team and trios matches. And as far as it seems to be going absolutely fantastic for him. Couple of lads who've just been over to the United States of America, just finished off a short tour. A couple of close personal friends, Just Joe Lando and Danny Black, as well as Nino Bryant out there as well. They've been competing in the US for the last 2 weeks. The current Soft Pro Tag Team Champions have competed 3 times for GCW, as well as an appearance for RCW's Convergence, Wrestling Supercard. They had 1 match for Deadlock Pro, and I know they had another match. Absolutely impressed. I know they didn't win any matches while they were out there, but absolutely did impress. I did check out their GCW run against. They started off against Bang and August, 2 very good young teams, worked really well together, both as teammates and opponents. This was a good, solid tag team match. Their match with Marcus Mathers and Alec Price, though, wow, this was awesome, and it got deserved. This was awesome chance. It was a seriously good match. It was some insane moves, insane teamwork. It was just excellent. Then they took on the Vipress and the Sheik. And this was a really, really good match. They're better than their first, different to their second, but absolutely fantastic. Lando and Black absolutely relished being booed, and this was a really, really fun match. Robbie X right now, he's out in Mexico for CMML, about to compete in the International Grand Prix, about to kick off in the next couple of days. He just picked up a win. He's picked up a win 1-on-1 against Neon, the current Rev Pro UK British Cruiserweight Champion, Neon, with a low blow, and he's been involved in some multi-matches since then. But as I say, the International Grand Prix is kicking off in just a couple of days. Good luck to Robbie X in that. Danny Luna is, she has, of course, been competing in TNA Impact, or sorry, just TNA nowadays. She's killing it, absolutely killing it. But we just mentioned CPF. Competed for Deadlock Pro against Violence is Forever, Dominic Guarini and Kevin Koo. I really hope they survive that match, because they Violence is Forever are some bad dudes. But Danny Luna, Deadlock Pro, she is scheduled to be part of the Carolina Classic. She will be facing Hyan in the semi-finals of the Battle of the Best. This takes place on the 15th of September. Good luck to Danny Luna against Hyan. Of course, UK fans know Hyan well through her time competing with Rev Pro UK and a couple of other promotions. Good luck to both of them, but, go on, Danny Luna. I know it was about a month ago now, but Danny Jones is over in MLW, competing for MLW. He was part of the Opera Cup. You can check out his match against Bad Dude Tito. It is free on YouTube. Aaliyah James is out there in the States, so she's moved out there full time, of course. The partner of Noah Dar, which is why she's out in the States. I wish she was here. She's an amazing talent. Wish we could see her wrestle much more in the UK, but I know she just had a very notable appearance for Kitsune Pro Wrestling. NXT Joe Hendry star is going to be challenging Ethan Page for the NXT Championship on the 1st of September. I've only got one question for you. Do you believe in Joe Hendry? Can he become the NXT champion as a technically not fully signed wrestler? He's got some strange deal where he's working both TNA and NXT. He can train at the Performance Center. It's such a unique deal, unique setup for Joe Hendry. Could he be that person? I mean, it would be history, wouldn't it, if he came out? More stars going to the US from the UK are Man Like the Reese. The Lyrical Dragon World Tour continues. He'll be in the US throughout most of the month of September. He has been announced for GCW's The G Code on the 15th of September. Tate Mayfairs will also be out in the US for the time in September, just after the Noah dates, because I know he's scheduled for all 3 shows of Pro Wrestling Noah while they're here in the UK. But on the 9th of September, the 21st of September, he will be in the US. Following Man Like Doris and Tate will be Costume. They will be heading out for their own US tour on the 9th of October. and that's until November. So making a huge splash internationally. US stars coming to the UK, US promotions coming to the UK, UK stars going over to the US. But it's not just the stars, it's the promotions as well these days, because we know that Rev Pro UK will be teaming up with the German Wrestling Federation to be part of a double feature in Berlin when WWE come to Germany. So we got two shows over the 30th of August and the 31st of August. We know that Mike D will be in action, Metahan will be in action, Axel Tiska, El Fantasmo, Peter Tahani, Tim Stubin, Michael Oku, Luke Jacobs, Zazaya, Robbie X, look, Leon Slater, Youngblood. They're going to be some insane shows. No matches have been announced yet. I bet the shows are next week, 31st, 30th of August, when WWE come to Berlin. I'm sure I should have done the Berlin card as well, WWE, but I know that Walter's taking on Randy Orton, I believe. So that should be good. And we get a match with Drew and CM Punk. I haven't been keeping up with WWE as much as I should have, but all we know, as I say, Rev Pro UK, German Wrestling Federation. If you want to find out more about the German Wrestling Federation, they do have shows available to watch on YouTube. So go check them out. You know, what you got to lose? Go find out more about the German Wrestling Federation. They are the German Wrestling's longest running independent promotion. Progress and will be going to WXW as part of a joint show with Noah and Defy. This, of course, takes place at the World Tag Team Festival. Kicks off on the weekend. The weekend itself, I believe, is from the 4th of October to the 7th of October. But the Progress Noah Defy show will be on the 5th of October. Axel Tiska will be facing Noah legend Marufuji, and Luke Jacobs could possibly be defending his Progress World title against Timothy Thatcher, which would be insane. Brit Wres star Debbie Keitel will be part of the Femme Fatale on the 6th of October. It is the all-women show. It will also feature stars like Baby Allison, Devlin McCabe, Jay Nero, Jessie J, Stephanie Mays, and more incredible stars. No Brit Wres tag teams have been announced, which is a little bit disappointing. We got so many great tag teams. I mean, the closest one we have are Youngblood, of course, on their excursion from New Japan with Rev Pro UK / WXW, because Oscar has been working a lot of WXW shows. Should be a great weekend and a great World Tag Team Festival with teams like Timothy Thatcher and Hideki Suzuki, One Cool Manders and Tim Shire, Gringo Loco and Ares, Stephanie Mays and Bobby Guns, Kicks and Suplexes, which is Axel Tiska and Fast Time Mudo, Fuminari Abe and Shigehiro Irie, Baby Allison and Maggot, Senza Volta and Icarus. It seems like a lot of thrown together teams, so it's a bit disappointing we haven't got many UK teams in there. Why not? Matt Cardona will be at there. He'll be part of the WXW World Tag Team Festival Day 1 main event, challenging for the Valley of Shotgun title in a triple threat match with Ahura in action as well. So, as I say, it's not just the British promotion. Oh, we got one more promotion coming to Germany as well, and that is Discovery Wrestling, the Edinburgh-based promotion. Joe Hendry's promotion will be going to Leipzig in Germany on the 6th of November. They are set to feature the usual Discovery talent, including Joe Hendry, Judas Gray, Aspen Faith, Gabe Valhalla, Judas Gray, Discovery champion Leon Slater will be in action, as well as German-based talents such as Axel Tiska, Farside Mudo, and Mila Schmidt. An amazing announcement came from OTT very recently in Ireland for the end of their Scrapomania tour that they announced for their 10th anniversary on the 26th of October that Finn Balor and JD McDonough will be competing for the first time in several years for OTT. I know this has gone down both good and bad with some of the fan groups within Brit Wres due to JD don't know. Anyway, RCW Spain, Brit Wres stars Heidi Katrina, Sky Smithson, LA Taylor, and Nightshade are all set to go to Barcelona on the 7th of September. Lucky them. Other stars in this show include Zazaya, Ika Navarro, Carlos Roma, the Barcelona Blacklist, Japanese star Takumi Iroha, WXW stars such as Robert Dreisker and Icarus, 7th of September, RCW Spain. Body Slam Pro Wrestling in Denmark. They've got a show coming up, the Scandi Graps Invitational, and Emerson Jane, Brit Wres superstar Emerson Jane, will be in action in the Scandi Invitational Cup against Alice Inc. in a first round matchup. I believe this will now be the third time that Alice Inc. and Emerson Jane have fought for Body Slam. I definitely remember one back in the day was an absolute banger. So I really look forward to see these two compete again. Bobby Guns is going to be in action also in this tournament. He's got a first round match against Hyundai Tamas from Hungary. Other entrants include Carlos Zamora, Emilian Lewis, Shamika, and one more to be announced. Very interesting. When does this all take place? This takes place on the 31st of August. Body Slam are celebrating their 4th anniversary on the 20th of September, and the One Cool Manners will be making his Danish debut. One of my favourite promotions out in Italy, SAJ Wrestling, Squasher Jobber, will be in action very soon. I seem to have not put out the date. It is the final bout 3. It is in Milan, and the Freshners will be in action, as will Robbie X, as will Zazaya, as will Mexican superstar Ares, and this takes place on the 12th of October. There we go. Banger Zone Wrestling in Belgium, France. Connor Mills and former NXT UK star Tucker have both been selected to compete in the upcoming BZW Miracle, an 8-person tournament in a ring with no ropes. Other entrants include Maverick from Hungary, Georges Balzac from France, Ultima Sombra from Belgium. A few names I don't recognize: Scar, Cormac Hamilton, and Kumar Bala. And this takes place on the 28th of September before their main attraction show, in which Just Joe Lando will be going on one-on-one with Kenta. Can he do what his close personal friend did, Callum Neman, and defeat Kenta? Good 2 CPF guys out there hold victories over Kenta by the end of this. Looks like be another excellent show for Banger Zone Wrestling. They always put on great shows. Evil Uno will be in action at the show as well. So bring it on. It's going to be a great show. And this is on the 28th of September. And it looks to be an absolute cracker. Tristan Archer, Sense of Photo, Tate Mayfairs will also be in action, so make sure, keep an eye on Banger Zone. I know tomorrow, on Thursday, the day this is released, their last show, Be Not Afraid, that features EC3 and Penta El Zero. Penta El Zero, I believe, took on Igil Blanc and Ultimo Sombra, and EC3 faced off against Tristan Archer. Been looking forward to this show, and it's going to be available to watch the day this episode is released. So go check that out. Also going to Europe is Michael Oku. He'll be heading to Paris to compete for APC Catch at their homecoming show on the 22nd of September. He'll be facing off against Tiago Montero. Bringing it back to the UK very quickly, Charlie Evans is in the UK for another quick tour on the 1st of November until the 18th of November. She's already been scheduled for Resurgence Wrestling's one more time. Name so for as Charlie Evans will face Kanji one more time for that Resurgence Championship. That takes place on the 16th of November. That wraps up this show. Remember to support independent wrestling, support British wrestling, support independent wrestlers, independent promotions, independent podcasters to support independent wrestling. And remember, don't feed the trolls.